மிகச்சிறந்த தமிழகத்தின் நீச்சல் வீரர், கின்னஸ் சாதனைகள் புரிந்தவர் குற்றால் வீரபத்ரன் அவர்களை அன்போடு அழைக்கிறோம்.
Kutral Veerabadran, an Indian swimmer and the founder of Nanban Sports Foundation. Kutraleshwaran Ramesh is popularly known as Kutral Veerabadran or Kutral. In 1994, his next swimming expedition was to surpass Mihir Sen's record of completing 5 channels in a calendar year, a record that was unbroken for over 30 years. He first swam across the Palk Strait in April 1994 at the age of 12. He won the prestigious Arjuna Award from the Indian government and entered the Guinness Book of World Records when he was 13. On National Sports Day in 2021, he launched a foundation named Nanban Sports Foundation with the mission statement of establish sports as a truly rewarding opportunity for athletes, corporates, foundations, government, the public, and India. We are proud to welcome Kutral Veerabadran to the Global Tamil Startup Investors Summit.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம் and thank you for a fantastic AV. It was a fantastic kind of introduction. Of course, it talks about my swimming career, which I consider as my past life, because I used to be a swimmer until the age of like 16 to 17, and after that took a conscious decision to pivot towards education, and life took on. Became an engineer and did my MBA, was an investment banker, and then finally turned to buy side, where I've been in the field of venture capital for the last quite a number of years. And today, I'm the general partner, and the president and the managing partner of Nanban Ventures, which is a US-based venture capital fund. And I'm today in this gathering to represent Nanban Ventures and also talk about innovation. So, நீங்கள் அந்த AVல பார்த்தது ஃபுல்லாக ஸ்விம்மிங், ஆனால் நான் பேச போகிறது ஃபுல்லாக innovation. So, there won't be any kind of connect at all. And for next வர track வந்து it's about innovation, how innovation is going to be defining the future. So with that, எனக்கு அந்த டாபிக் வந்தபோது நான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு யோசிச்சேன் என்ன பேசலாம், பிகாஸ் innovation is a huge ocean. அதை பற்றி ஒரு 10 minutes பேசணுன்னா வந்து I don't think I can do any justice. So when I was thinking for myself, when I was reflecting on the word innovation, what innovation actually means in today's world, the first thing which comes to our mind when we think about innovation is anything jaw-dropping, revolutionary or disruptive. Correctங்களா? But when we take one step below and actually even try to understand what innovation is, essentially for my simple mind, the way I understand it is very, very kind of like straightforward. It is pretty much finding a way to do something that is already being done in a more efficient manner. அவ்வளோதான். Now that efficiency can be cost, time, effort, or any of the metrics you kind of like measure yourself in. And also the degree of efficiency will vary. Like it can be just an incremental improvement to what you're doing right now, or it can be completely disruptive, which can change the entire industry or the way we're known to live as. So that is the ocean of innovation. And today, நான் பேசும்போது in the keynote especially, I didn't want to kind of like define what innovation is or kind of like stress the importance of it. And I'm sure the August gathering here, all of you already know what it typically entails. So what I particularly want to focus on is how we can embrace innovation in every walk of life. So that's what I want to kind of like focus my energies on. So one thing which I truly believe is innovation happens at home. Whatever industry we are in, whatever kind of like work stream we are in, whether we're an entrepreneur, whether we're an employee, whether we're the boss, whether we're kind of in sports, we can always reflect on what is it that we are doing and how is it we can improve on whatever the essence has been set all these years. For instance, I'll tell you a story about Nanban Ventures, right, which we kind of launched just a year and a half ago. So it's a venture capital fund. In the venture capital fund, the innovation, yes, we invest in innovative companies, but the fund itself, if you look for the last like several decades, it's a very static kind of an industry. Like we invest in companies and we expect the companies to go, we give them all the kind of support and give them an exit option and so on and so forth. The fund itself hasn't changed much. So that is something we wanted to change as founders when we got our heads together. We were like, okay, let's change the business model of venture capital as we know it today. So that's how Nanban Ventures was born. And I'll tell you how it is different. If you look at a usual venture capital fund, there's a bunch of GPs, and then we raise capital from LPs, and then there'll be a capital call schedule. And LPs usually have to forget about their capital for at least 3 or 4 years, because venture capital inherently is an illiquid asset class. So we were thinking, how can we change that? Can we give cash flow distribution on a regular basis to our investors, plus invest in illiquid asset classes like startup companies? And that's what we did. So what we actually did was, in terms of the capital call, as we raise capital, there is no capital call schedule. We take all the capital upfront from investors, and then we manage the capital for investors using our proprietary strategies, which we are known for. We are an investment management fund. And internally, as we find opportunities in the startup, we make an internal capital call. So from the investor's point of view, they get a cash flow distribution every 6 months. And those have been market-beating returns. And I'm also very happy to share that tomorrow is our investor webinar, actually. And you know what happened in 2022. The markets really sank globally, right? In spite of that, our investors are going to be extremely happy, because they're going to be getting market-beating returns even for 2022. So in fact, our meeting is in the next few hours. So that's how we kind of like brought in innovation within Nanban Ventures. And one other thing, so being a venture capitalist puts me in a very blessed position to kind of interact with founders day in and day out. So I get this front row seat to understand what is the next in terms of technology, what is the next in terms of innovation, and we can actually see how the world as we know is shaping up, right? So even the companies which we kind of like see, the audience here, I know most of you are startups and some of you are aspiring entrepreneurs, and there are companies from through the value chain, startups and successful companies and multi-billion-dollar going concerns. For startups, it's a no-brainer. You're all about innovation, right? You exist because you're doing something which others are not doing properly. You've found a pain point, and you want to address a pain point. That is the whole nature of why you're here. So innovation for startups is a no-brainer. And for companies who have already been established, it's a very well-known fact that in today's world, you cannot get complacent with whatever business or whatever industry or technology or vertical you're in. You have to continuously innovate within your company to stay abreast and to stay away from the competition. And all of us know, classic example is Netflix and Blockbuster, right? These are US companies, so when Netflix came, Blockbuster today we don't hear anything about Blockbuster. And we all know in our lifespans, we kind of like saw the advent of digital photography, right? We all have digital cameras. And before that, Kodak and Konica were ruling the roost, and myself, I've gone and bought films, and there was a completely different process to it. So some companies took to it, embraced innovation, were still thriving, some they didn't, and we all exactly know what happened, right? So innovation is critical, no matter whether you're a startup or whether you're kind of a going concern, a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. So that is how important innovation is. And that's exactly one of the other things which I'm very happy to be here today is, like, I heard even Tansim, Tamil Nadu Tea and Startup, and FETNA, they're putting together a fund just to focus on investing in Tamil Nadu startups from every nook and corner, because innovation need not come just from tier 1 and tier 2 companies, right? Tier 1, tier 2 cities. Like how Mr. Sriravembu said and other guest panelists, they were talking about, there is so much of talent in every nook and corner of the state, and let alone the whole country. So the whole idea is to kind of fish out and give a platform to such innovations to come up to surface and really kind of reap the rewards, which will not just benefit Tamil Nadu as such, but will benefit our entire country. And I'm sure everybody in the room, all of us, will completely agree to it, right? There shouldn't be any kind of second thoughts to that. So in that aspect, Nanban Ventures will be more than happy to join hands with Tansim or any of those kind of initiatives here, which can help spot such entrepreneurs, spot such innovative ideas, and grow innovation at home, right? So innovation at home is what is really going to kind of propel us forward in all the years to come, right? Now, taking a step back, even talking about innovation and so on and so forth, one of the things which I personally have been seeing, and most of you might have heard about it, is ChatGPT, right? This is a very new AI program which has been released by OpenAI, and that has been insane. That software, or whatever I call it, pretty much does everything for you. For instance, like even for today's keynote for innovation, I said, okay, type me a keynote for innovation, and gave me the entire kind of a 500-word kind of a keynote, but I promise I didn't plagiarize much. I did take a few kind of like key pointers, but most of it has been like mine. But one other thing is like my personal experience, even with innovation, right, to kind of go to a lighter note. So My wife always feels I'm not that romantic, right? And I went to ChatGPT and I requested the software to write a romantic poem personally to my wife. And guess what? It gave me a fantastic poem. No way in hell I would have ever come up with such amazing lines. And that's the power of AI right here. And of course, she was happy. That's a different story altogether. But the point I'm trying to make is innovation is always, it never ceases. It's always part of us. Because we as human beings, we are not designed to stay static. Everything we dabble, our mind dabbles to make it better and better going forward, right? So with that, we have been growing up saying like, okay, think out of the box, stay ahead of the curve. But guess what? The curve also is never static. The curve also keeps moving. So it is up to our best interest to reflect upon ourselves, all of us, as I told you, irrespective of where we are, to kind of see how we can innovate with what is it that we are doing right now. And those incremental innovations can definitely kind of make a big splash going forward. With that, I think like my time is almost up as well. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and let us all embrace innovation in every walk of our life. And the world is going to be completely different just 5 years from now to what we know it as today. I am excited, personally excited for it, and I'm sure all of you are also excited for it. Thank you so much for the opportunity again. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for the wonderful speech, Mr. Kutral. And now I call upon Mr. Kumar Nalaswamy and Andigiri from Bay Area Tamil Mandram and Soft Square to felicitate Mr. Kutral. தொடர்ந்து அரங்கினுடைய அடுத்த நிகழ்வாக டிஃபைனிங் தி ஃபியூச்சர் நவ் இன்னோவேஷன் மிஸ்டர் நாட் நடராஜன் அண்ட் சிவன் நடராஜா co-founder Joe Health, Mr. Suresh Jikmar, founder and CEO People, Dr. Francis Somerville, Chief Operating Officer, NI Drive. Please come to the stage.